everyone, it's Cindy and welcome back to the channel. So today we are renovating a new apartment. This time it is 1310 at 21 Chic Street. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment that comes in at just under 33,000 simoleons, and this is another somewhat Christmassy but more sort of winter themed apartment with just a hint of Christmas. So here I am just getting started on the kitchen and the living room, but if you enjoy this build and you would like to include it in your game, then be sure to check out the gallery. It will be available under my EA ID, which is Hyggehaven. That's Hyggehaven. And under the same hashtag as well, hashtag Hyggehaven. And if you are not aware, I also have a Twitter and Instagram account, and you can find me under Hyggehaven YT, so at HYGGEHAVENYT at both of those socials. So feel free to drop on by. I like to post typically on Wednesdays a teaser of the upcoming build that you should expect on the weekend. So stop on by there to see what is new and upcoming, and also to find out when I've released a new build. So as you can see, I have moved on and am working on the kitchen and the living room together. The inspiration for this apartment, and really I kind of came into this apartment not really having much of a plan. The only inspiration I really had was the Christmas tree that I've popped in the corner by the double windows there. And I just kind of thought, I very rarely ever use this white and gold tree, so I want to try and use this in the game. So that was kind of the base inspiration that I drew for this apartment, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Honestly, with coming into this build with no real plan at all, this apartment came together so easily and so quickly, like I was amazed. So I'm really happy with it, so I hope you will enjoy it too. The counters that I've decided to use here, like the tree, are counters that I don't really use very frequently. They're the island living counters, and I've gone for this kind of light neutral wood tone, and I think they turned out really well, except after I placed them down and I was really happy with them, I discovered that there are no upper cabinets that match these counters, which is probably why I don't regularly use them. However, I thought that that was a really great opportunity to, again, use objects that maybe I wouldn't naturally reach for in my game. So you can see here I have added in some shelves, and they're like modular shelves. I'm not really sure if these came with Dream Home Decorator, or I don't think they came with High School Years. Maybe the square one did. Anyway, not really important, I suppose. Not really sure which expansion or pack or whatever they came with, but I thought they worked really well with the white tone. It matches the countertop, and it made sure that I didn't overly clutter the kitchen, because it's not a super large kitchen anyway, and it's all very open, so probably best not to have a super cluttered space, but I do like cluttering my builds, so sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to ease up on the cluttering. But that also is probably why it came together so quickly, because I didn't spend a ton of time adding a whole bunch of clutter and placing everything. But I think it is a nice balance of amount of clutter. There is no dishwasher, however, so bear that in mind. If you want to add in a dishwasher, you can certainly do that in the cabinet next to the fridge. And you'll see I started off with just a 3-seater table here, and then I realized there was actually space enough to add in a 4th seat, so I've added 4 seats in there. And the tiling that I've used here for the backsplash has also really helped to set the color palette for the apartment, and I love how it worked out with the white and the gold Christmas tree. So just adding in some curtains here. I haven't really used these High School Years kind of macrame lace curtains very much, so I decided to use those. And then I knew that they weren't really going to look, correct in the corner. They were going to overlap and look really weird, so I used the Desert Luxe curtains there. And surprisingly, I didn't have any problems with putting the rails over the windows. In one of my other apartment renos that I did, I had to use tool to move the windows and then place the rails and then use tool to move the windows back. It was a whole process, and oh my goodness, it was a bit of a nightmare. But this time they just snapped together perfectly, so I was super happy with that. And we've got this cute little fireplace. I love using this like industrial fireplace in here on a little diagonal wall. I think that turned out really well. And you'll notice that I'm putting in just a couple of decorations. I'm not going super over the top with the Christmas decorations. If you want super over the top Christmas decorations and a ton of red and green everywhere, then I recommend that you definitely go and check out my previous build, which is Balsam Mills Christmas Tree Farm and Gift Shop. It is a community lot, and if you have Get to Work, you can also use it as a playable retail lot. And not to toot my own horn, but I think it turned out really, really well. And as somebody who doesn't consider herself a builder, and I had to build, granted, a very basic structure for the building, I was really happy with how it turned out. And there's a ton of Christmas goodness there. So if you want to get your full Christmas fix, I highly recommend that. Make sure that you check out the card that I have linked here. So yeah, just finishing up with decorating this super, super pretty Desert Luxe sideboard, and I used the matching sofa, and we're just picking out a rug, and I went with one that had a whole bunch of the similar pastel colors in it. And sideboards, I decided not to use that high school years end table, but that comes back later in the bedroom. And I swapped out the light over the kitchen table because it felt like the plant was hanging down into what would probably be your meal, and that didn't seem too appetizing, so we swapped that out. So the kitchen and the living room is pretty much done, and we're just moving on now to the bedroom. And I decided to use this high school years bed, and the moment I saw this bedspread, I was like, yes, that is the color of this bedroom. And you can see that I've added in that end table that I tried in the living room, and the space, there's a lot of space here, but I didn't want it to be all bedroom. So we have like a bedroom half, and then on the other side we have like a home office desk study area half, which I thought worked out really well. But the wardrobe, I didn't feel like there was a large amount of space for a big wardrobe, so this matching wardrobe that goes with the bed that I've used worked out really well because it's not super, super big, and I had contemplated putting it in the corner, but I was a little concerned Sims wouldn't be able to access it in the corner. So I popped a full-length mirror in there instead. And I think that'll work out a lot better. And I love this rug from Dream Home Decorator, just kind of askew underneath, partially under the bed. I think it helps to bridge the space between the two halves of the bedroom really well. And I'm also using a Dream Home Decorator desk here. And again, just putting some clutter, not over the top clutter, but just a little bit of clutter. And I also like how I decided to tuck in a little bit of gym equipment. There's the yoga mat and the kettlebell there in the corner next to the bed, and I have the little box from Everyday Clutter Kit with the gym supplies, the little free weights and water bottle and things, and I just thought that's kind of cute and very realistic. You know, you tuck those things into the corner of the room when you're not using them, and then you can pull them out when you want to use them. So yeah, just going back to the bedroom here, working on the desk space and adding in those clutter items that I've pulled out. So you've got like a little coffee mug and some Post-its, a journal, the little coin, coin dish, I guess, and receipts and things like that. And yeah, just a couple of things up at the top here, getting those boxes all placed and everything, and yeah, it just kind of came together super easily, and I love that pothos plant in the corner as well. So adding in another little basket of goodies, blankets, and moving on to the foyer. So I had contemplated using the Pastel Pop sideboard, the tiled one here, as a bit of fun, but it just didn't quite feel like it fit the vibe. Just with the colors, it didn't quite match, so I swapped it out for this more neutral wood one, and I think that works a lot better. And again, very minimal clutter here, just a few things. The candles and a little bit of holly is kind of the most kind of Christmas decorations. I do end up putting a little garland swag in over top of the wall shelf that has like the necklace and the post and everything on it, and I end up going back in later. I don't show it, but I put in another swag over top of the mirror here because that just looked very nice in this area. And you know, it's not a large space, so you don't want to try and cram too much in there, but I felt like this was a doable amount of clutter for this size. And yeah, just a little rug in there, and then I think we come in and add in a little Christmas plaque again, and yep, there it is. And then this little wall bow, I did this in the Balsam Mills build as well, and I just used Move Objects to put it over top of the plaque, and I sized it down as well, and I think it looks super cute to have that little bow hanging from the top of the holder. And finally, we're into the bathroom, and again, not a super big bathroom. I didn't include any laundry this time, even though I like to include laundry. No shower tub combo, unfortunately, this time. It is just a shower stall, but I have used the same tiles on the floor in the bathroom and the foyer as I did in the kitchen, just to, you know, move that through the apartment and have kind of a common theme going throughout the apartment. And the same sort of tiles as well, but this time, sorry, not tiles, the same sort of counters as well, but this time they are in a white tone rather than the neutral wood tone. And yeah, just added in a little bit of a mirror. I've tried to make sure that all of the metals are coordinating, especially in the bedroom where there was a lot more metals, but also here in the bathroom, there's a little bit of metal going on here, so I've tried to coordinate that as best as possible. And just popping in some extra pictures and a light. And yeah, I just popped back in here to a couple of rooms to do some finishing touches, so just here and there adding a couple of items. And then I came back here in the bedroom because I felt like this space just needed something, and I thought first of putting in a sideboard and a television, and then I decided to add in a clothing rail for a little extra wardrobe space and some pop some clothing on there. And that pretty much does it for the build. So if you've enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like it. And why don't you subscribe while you're at it? And you might as well turn on some notifications if you want to be notified. And I will leave you with the screenshots. Have a lovely day.